Hi, come on in.
Hi.
I'm Dr. Hunter. How are you?
Good. I'm Kimberly.
Kimberly, it's nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
So, the purpose of this first meeting, we're in here for about 30 minutes today. And the purpose of this meeting is really just to kind of get to know you and kind of have you talk to me and tell me about what it is that you're going through right now.
Okay.
Just to let you know, there are some caveats. If there's anything involving you hurting yourself, you hurting someone else, or someone else hurting you, I am ethically bound to report it. Just heads up, let you know. And just want to know if there's any questions you have for me right now before we get started.
No, not that I can think of.
No? Okay. So, Kimberly, what brings you in today?
I've just had some feelings that I'm not really used to lately. I graduated from college in the fall, and I went right into grad school because I didn't really know what career path I was going to take. So I'm in a school counseling program right now, actually. And I don't know, like since graduating from college, I've stayed in the area of my school, but I guess the changes that happened kind of, I don't know, they've changed me. And I feel like right now I'm working as a developmental interventionist. I work with kids with autism. And I sometimes I find myself just crying for no reason. Like I'll go to bed and I'll have had a fine day, like nothing really terrible had happened, but I'll find myself just crying uncontrollably. And that's not like me. I never used to do that. I never cried really that much. So I don't know, it's just not something I'm used to. And I find myself worrying about things a lot more than I used to. I never really had anxiety before, but I'd been around people who did, and I thought it was weird. And now I find myself worrying about things that I never used to worry about. So that's just a start, and you can go where you want with that.
So you said you've been crying late at night. How often has this been going on?
Maybe just about once a week. Give or take. Not every week, but maybe like once a week. Do you want how long?
Any specific day of the week, or is it just kind of sporadically?
It's pretty sporadic, to be honest. Sometimes I'll be driving home from work and I'll start thinking about things, like sad things, and then I'll just come home and cry and be sad.
What kind of sad things?
Well, like just the kid that I'll have come from his house and he's like a pretty severe case of autism. I'll start thinking about him and his life quality, and then I'll be driving by a park and I'll see an old man hunched over walking with a cane, and that will make me sad. And then I'll think about those things, and then that will like send me into a spiral of thinking about other things that have happened in my life, like people that have passed away in my life, and that will make me sad. So it's like once I start thinking, it's like I can't stop.
And how long has this been going on?
So a few months. Let's see.
When did you start noticing it?
I would say it's happened in the last 6 months.
Has anything changed for you in the last 6 months?
Well, like I said, I feel like my life has changed some because I graduated from college and I'm just in a different life stage now, I feel like. And I'm thinking that maybe that has something to do with it, like that transition has been harder on me than I thought it would be.
And how long ago again did you say you graduated from college?
In May.
This last May?
Mm-hmm.
So you just started grad school this year.
Mm-hmm.
How's it been?
Not bad. A lot easier than I thought it would be, to be honest. I've done pretty well, and it's weird though because I feel like my job is taking up a lot of my time and energy when I feel like maybe more of my focus should be on school.
Why do you feel that way? That it should be more on school and less on your job?
I just know that school should be my number one priority because it's my job is temporary, and of course school is temporary too, but it's what is getting me to where I want to be eventually.
So I take it the job you have now is not what you want to do in the future.
No, like I said, like I'm going to school for school counseling, so that's what I want to do. I mean, I feel very lucky to have the job that I have because I got it right out of college, and it's actually within the field of what I wanted to be in, which is psychology. So I'm working with, kids who have this delays, and I feel very lucky to have found that. So, I mean, that's good. I already tell myself that that's good.
Why do you say you tell yourself that that's good?
Because it's really hard. It's a difficult job. And I think that it's made me a lot more aware of a population that I didn't really understand the full difficulties that affected this population. I mean, I still don't. I never will fully understand, but I have a greater grasp on it now, and like the struggles that the parents go through with these kids, and how difficult it is to accept like the fact that your child is different and will probably always be that way, and will have to struggle with things that most kids wouldn't have to struggle with, things like that.
Is that what's made you sad, almost to the point of tears, you mentioned earlier?
Sometimes. I think that's definitely like part of the stress that I'm feeling. Yeah.
So, you said when you started crying, is it more, is it the stress that's causing you to feel this way, or is it just thinking about the kids makes you sad?
No, it's not like, oh, I'm thinking about them and crying. It's definitely not that. I think that's just part of the stress that I'm feeling that is building up in me, if that makes sense. Because I told you, like, I think about other things, then I think maybe my new, like, broadened awareness of this population is maybe making me think more on, like, what is the purpose of life, really? Like, when I see old people, then I feel sad, too, because I'm like, what are they living for anymore? Or, I don't know, it's just stuff like that that makes me go into, like I said, that spiral of thoughts of, like, life, quality of life, what is the purpose of life, and I don't know, like, what's the best way to get through? If we're all just working every day and to make money, it seems like life is kind of pointless. Do you agree?
I understand what you're saying, that, it seems like everybody's just working, but you're working for what?
Exactly, yeah, that's totally it. Have you ever felt that way?
I've felt that way sometimes. Well, I've thought about it at least. I sometimes think about, I work a lot. I went to school too, so I used to think about, I'm doing this for this, but what am I really doing it for?
Mm-hmm.
So, can I ask you, do you feel like you have a purpose in life?
I like to think that I have a purpose in life. I don't know if I really figured that out completely, but I don't know.
So you're not sure what your purpose is yet?
I guess not. I mean, I feel like I'm definitely trying to figure that out still.
But do you believe that you do have a purpose?
That I could have a purpose?
Or that you do have one right now?
My purpose right now, like today, I had a purpose in being alive. I mean, I don't feel like I've affected the world that much in being here today, but I mean, I guess that's part of the problem too, is I keep thinking about the future and like hoping that things will just eventually be where I want them to be. And when you feel like you're always working towards the future, then the present doesn't seem as important. Or yeah, you're hoping that one day you'll actually achieve that purposefulness,
Where do you want your future to be? Or what do you want your future to be?
Yeah. It's a good question. Because, I mean, having a job now, full-time, I feel like that's like a huge struggle for me. And the fact that I've feel like I'd rather just be doing what I want to do all day long. Do you know what I mean?
Don't we all, right?
So that's like a struggle for me because I don't know if I'll ever be able to like handle that really. I feel I don't know. That's something that's getting me down too. It's because I feel like I'm realizing that that's all anyone does, but if I'm unhappy with that, I feel like other people must be too. And that makes the world seem like a bleaker place to me. But that probably didn't answer your question because you were asking me about purpose and where I want to be. So where I want to be, or where I would be if I had purpose in the future. Well, I'm going for this school counseling degree, and I feel like I've always wanted to help people. So I guess I'm hoping that I'll get a job and working with kids, and I'll feel responsible and needed, and that I'm helping others, and that I'm benefiting the world in some way. I'd also like to have a family eventually. And honestly, I'd like to just have enough money where I wouldn't have to worry about bills or, living from month to month.
Right.
That's basically what I would want, but I don't know if there's a lot of purpose in that.
Why wouldn't there be purpose in that?
I don't know if it's that significant.
What would make it insignificant? Why would you feel like it wasn't significant?
I don't know. I think maybe like I had this idea that I would feel really accomplished in helping people, and maybe since I'm in a good career that's technically doing that right now, maybe I'm not getting those feelings of accomplishment that I had hoped for. Does that make sense?
What do you define as significant to you?
I don't know. That's the thing, is like I can't really think of what would be that purpose and significance in someone's life.
Right.
And I think that might be like the root of my issues right now, is that I'm kind of realizing that I don't really know what that would be, and that's kind of scary to me.
Scary how?
Well, because if I don't ever know purpose or know significance, then I might feel this way forever. And I might be sad forever.
So it feels like there's no escape for you.
Well, I'm hoping there is. I'm hoping that my thoughts will change, and I guess I'll see. I'm hoping that like some form of knowledge will be dropped on me, like drop some knowledge. And I'll just like, then things will be clear. Or I'm hoping that I'll like grow out of it, and that this is a stage and that I'm in my 20s and that this is just what people go through. Do you feel like that is true?
I think we all have those growing pains growing up. It's just kind of life hits you hard at this age, so.
Yeah, but then and then I compare myself to other people, and I'm like, wow, I really have things easy. Like, I really don't have that much to worry about in comparison to probably a lot of people my age. Like, I have life pretty easy, I think, so then that makes me depressed too, because I just feel lazy or ungrateful or something like that.
Everybody has problems. The rich to poor on your level. Money doesn't solve those.
Yeah, that's true. I know a lot of rich people have a lot of problems. Maybe that complicates things more, but that's basically everything. I don't know. Maybe it's growing pains, and I guess I really am hoping to just grow out of it, but it's hard to just tell yourself that, things will get better eventually.
Do you believe that?
I think so. I think I have to work towards that, though. I can't just turn 30 and be out of my 20s and everything will be fine and I'll just lay back till then, but I think that things will definitely change. I'm 22 right now, and when I was 10 years ago, 12, things are definitely different. So I know things will get better and change, and I just hope that, I don't know, everything gets better and not worse.
So going back, tell me about your job right now.
Okay, what did you want to know about it?
So give me kind of a synopsis of what exactly it is that you do, or what you do on a day-to-day basis, and how you deal with them.
Okay. So I have clients, and some of them I see twice a week. Some of them I see only once. So it depends on the day. So like on a Monday, I'll go out to Whittier and see a kid for like an hour and a half, and we play games, and he has goals, so I have to try and help him grow developmentally in his thinking or his actions, or whatever his goals may be. It could be as simple as not getting upset over losing in the game, or it could be, I don't know, like gray level thinking instead of thinking in black and white. Different things depending on the level. Then I'll see another kid in Whittier, and then I'll drive out to Pasadena and have another client, and each one requires paperwork too at the end of the session, and to write monthly progress reports for them. I have a couple kids at the office, but mostly I drive around from Glendale, Whittier, Pasadena, San Marino, Azusa, all over this area. So I do a lot of driving, which I don't like either. And I don't know. I think another thing for me is like going into the home is really hard. I feel somewhat uncomfortable, and sometimes like incompetent in what I'm doing, and it's hard to be a young professional, I guess, with parents who I think view me as someone who's maybe not equipped to deal with their child completely. Or, they all want you to be that magic pill that's going to fix them.
The miracle worker.
Yeah, they want you to do more than you can. And I think that I think that they put I don't even think that they put as much pressure as I put on myself, because I want to see progress in their kid as much as they do, because then I know that I'm doing something right, basically. So, that's just, driving, I hate. Going into the home, I don't really like. It's uncomfortable for me. Those are two things that I feel like are difficulties in my job. Sometimes I don't always know what I'm doing. But I guess we all have to fake it, huh?
Sometimes.
So, that's part of it.
Part of what?
Part of the difficulty of what I'm facing right now. Which, let me back up. Not part of the difficulty. Part of things that are stressful about my job.
Is it the pressure you put on yourself, or the feelings of not knowing what exactly to do at a certain point?
Yeah, that's hard for me. It's really hard. And I feel like I'm expected to know a lot, but the type of play therapy we do is really ambiguous, and I feel like I'm not, it's not like, the kid does this, you do this, and that's going to help, and they won't do that anymore. It's very much like, be in tune with their emotions, and vocalize things for them that they can't feel themselves, and eventually, things like that are really hard to, they're not concrete. So that's what's hard for me. That's part of it. So, yeah, maybe it's just not the therapy for me.
You like having rules and set goals at each step? Step by step?
I think, I'm not that really regimented in my life. I feel like I'm pretty laid back with myself, but in this situation, it is hard for me to not have that.
Alright. So it seems like job is really what's causing a lot of the stress right now. How about school? School kind of giving you stress too?
Somewhat. I mean, sometimes I just don't enjoy all of my classes, and it's like hard for me to get myself to the class. And then I'm like, what am I doing this for? It's hard to do something that you might not necessarily like for the hopes of doing something that you will eventually like, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But maybe that's just, I don't know. It's, because I like what I'm learning, but there's some things that I had, like writing research papers or something like that, where I'm just like, oh, why am I still doing this? You know, I'm sure everyone feels that.
The means to an end.
Yeah, exactly. But school is not too big of a problem. So I'm only in class 2 nights a week, and the work isn't overbearing. So school's not too bad.
So I'd say the biggest stress right now is work.
Mhm.
What about at home? Is there anything going on at home right now that's significant?
I live with 5 other girls in the house. And it's not that bad. I like it okay. Sometimes I feel like I'm growing out of, or I want to be growing out of that stage of like living with a bunch of people in a, excuse my language, shitty house with, you know, can't run the air because nobody has money, can't run the heat because nobody has money, no ice maker, you know what I mean? Like everything's falling apart, or just like living in this college state, and
Right.
I'm fresh out of college, so I try to give myself some leeway, but I'm sometimes just so sick of that and so wanting to move on, but yet I know I'm not ready to like get married and have a family either. So it's like that in-between stage right now where I'm like, okay, this was fun, well, for 4 years, while I was in college, but now I'm out, and it's hard for me to still be doing those same things when I've also, I have a job now and I'm trying to be a professional and move on from that stage, but I'm still kind of stuck there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You feel like you're in between right now.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in between, and like I feel like that's a common theme for people in their 20s. Like I feel like there's a lot of shows about that now, like being in between in the 20s and like living in these stupid apartments with people moving in and out, and like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And being stuck in the middle of trying to find a job, whether it be like a real job or like 3 little jobs, to make ends meet. But yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in that in-between stage. And I think that that's a problem for me too, is I don't know what the problem is with that. That's causing me stress, but I feel like there's some kind of tension within me because of that.
You mentioned the crying at night. Is there anything else that goes on?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like a tightness in my chest. And I'm trying to think what other symptoms I might have of that, but that's mostly it. Yeah, I feel like that tightness, a little bit of increased heart rate. So I know that that's like anxiety, but it's pretty mild. I don't have like intense attacks.
When do they happen?
Really at random times. I can't really predict it when I start feeling this tightness. It could be in my car driving to work, or sitting at a table eating a meal with someone. So I can't really predict that. And like I said, the crying, sometimes it'll happen like after a session with a client when I'm commuting. I'm stuck in traffic and I feel like down just because I've been working all day. You know what I mean? Or it could be after I watched a movie that would not normally make me sad at all, but all of a sudden I'm like uncontrollably crying.
So it just kind of happens on its own, pretty much.
I mean, I guess so. I guess you could maybe.
You haven't noticed a correlation?
No, not really. I don't know what it might be.
And how often would you say you were having the chest pains?
Those are really random. Like once or twice a week.
And when did those start?
I would say the same, like 6 months ago. Within the last 6 months, I'd say, like since I graduated and had this transition. Yeah. I'm just thankful they're not worse than they are.
That's good. Have you talked to anybody else about these? Have you seen a physician or?
No, I've never been to a doctor about them. Besides you. But I've told my boyfriend about them, but and like he's been there when I've had crying attacks, but not really anybody else. Well, I told one of my friends from home a little bit, and she could kind of relate. I guess she's had anxiety in the past too. I don't really remember what she said about it, but I know that she said she'd pray for me. So.
Mention your boyfriend. How's that relationship?
It's good. That's what's weird about it is I feel like he's been a good source of support in my life and someone that I feel like I've always wanted that with the opposite sex, and he's like the first time I really had that. So that's why I don't get why I'm having this, because I feel like I have something that I've been looking for so long, and now he's around, and then I have all these weird crying spells, and I feel like it shouldn't be happening. But yeah, he's good. So I don't really know the correlation.
So it sounds like it's mostly just work that's causing you a lot of stress right now. You mentioned the crying, you mentioned the chest tightness. Is there anything else that's really been bothering you right now?
No.
I forgot to ask too, how long have you been at this job?
I started in August, so
About
9 months or so.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah.
So is that about the same times as the crying and chest pain started?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah. Mhm.
Now, have you talked to anyone else about this?
No, not really. Just the two that I mentioned.
And have you considered leaving the job?
Yeah, I totally have. I have like fantasies about quitting to my boss and just walking out or like being done with it. But it's like, what? I can't be a quitter, and I don't have something else to do. So, I mean, I feel like I said, I feel so lucky to have found something in my field right out of college. So I feel like, I don't know what else I would do.
What do you mean you can't be a quitter?
Well, I wouldn't want to quit. I would feel bad quitting. Without a reason to, without something else to go to.
What do you mean without a reason to what? You don't consider chest pains and crying spells a reason? Or
I don't know. I don't. I really don't. I would, I don't know. I feel like I've never quit a job because I didn't like it. I've never, and I feel like I've looked down on people who have done that. So.
would you consider quitting a job that was causing you emotional turmoil?
Well, no, because it's like, then I have to be doing something. If it's not this job, it's going to be another job that I have to be doing. I don't know if the same thing will happen at the next job.
What makes you think the same thing will happen? If it's a different job, why would the same thing happen again?
I don't know, because I guess I hadn't really considered the job to be the whole problem. Consider myself to be the problem.
Why do you think you're the problem and not the job?
Because I feel like I should be able to handle this, and it's something I wanted, and it's something I don't know, I feel like it's not normal to cry over this, or not normal to have these feelings about this job, so I feel like if I can fix what's going on in myself, then I can stay, and things would be okay without having to quit. I don't want to quit the job and then still have these feelings, because I feel like it would be really difficult for me to quit a job and just not have a job. I feel like I'd still be crying and still be anxious about things.
So you mentioned with school and relationships, you don't feel that same stress or anxiety, right?
Mhm.
So if it was just you, why wouldn't you feel it in other aspects of life? Why is it just work that you feel that?
Mhm. Well, if it is just work, then yeah, I guess it's the job, and I guess I should do something about it.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like our time is just about up, but I would like to set up a follow-up appointment with you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you available sometime next week?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what day would work for you?
Wednesday.
Wednesday sounds good.
Okay.
Same time Wednesday next week?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay.